Good evening. Each year, Yom Kippur allows us to reflect upon the past and consider what is important to us in the coming year. Tonight, I'd like to discuss the past year at Bet Shira and why Bet Shira is important to all of us in the new year. Since the recession affected our country and the world, virtually all of us have felt economic pressure, making us think twice about how we spend our money. The fact is that when Americans prioritize their expenses, support of religious institutions is not often at the top of the list. Churches and synagogues nationwide have been closing down and consolidating. A study was released just last month called A Decade of Change in American Congregations, 2000 to 2010. It studied Christian and Jewish congregations, and according to the study, in 2010, only 14% of congregations in America can be described as having excellent financial health, a 50% decline in just 10 years. It also found that congregations are aging and need to innovate and sometimes consolidate to survive. The emails I receive on almost a weekly basis from Jewish congregation presidents all over the country reflects a severe and prolonged financial challenge just to survive, just to keep the lights on. In comparison to what many synagogues are facing nationwide, Bet Shira has really fared quite well. There is no secret as to why this has happened. All you have to do is look around this room. The reason that we have survived is because of the generosity of everyone sitting in this sanctuary tonight. You pay your dues. You contribute to Fair Share. We exceeded our rather ambitious goal this year for Fair Share. You allowed us to create a program fund last year to ensure that we will have money for innovative programming. You buy Shira baskets. We had one of the best years ever thanks to the efforts of Sisterhood. You congratulate people on their birthdays and anniversaries by buying Shirograms. Thanks to the generosity of Roberto and Betty Horowitz, we now stream our services live through our website to people who are either too ill or too far away to attend. In fact, tonight we are streaming this service. So it's dues, donations, Shira baskets, Shirograms, financial gifts. In short, you support the many activities that this congregation has to offer. You are the reason that we are successful. But I would be lying, and since this is Kol Nidre night, lying would be especially inappropriate, if I led you to believe that the last few years have been easy, because they haven't. Bet Shira has had to deal with the recession, an aging physical facility, and a somewhat controversial departure of our prior rabbi, Micah Kaplan. I do not want to underestimate the difficulties and challenges that we've been facing and continue to face. Nor am I convinced that all the bad karma, and I was going to say, Rabbi, can I say karma? Okay. Nor do I believe that all the bad karma has passed. But tonight I want to show you why I am so positive and excited about where this congregation is today and where it is going. To say that Rabbi Schuldenfrei hit the ground running last year is an understatement. In fact, I don't even think he ever touched the ground. Actually, the ground has never caught up to Rabbi Schuldenfrei. He has brought spirit, energy, and vision to Bet Shira. In addition to being the right man in the right place at the right time, he has what every rabbi in America must want to have. So I ask you, what does every rabbi in America must want to have? And the answer is Mark Kula. A vacation, okay. In addition to a vacation is Cantor Mark Kula. Many of us remember when Cantor Kula was the very young counterpart to our esteemed Rabbi David Auerbach. Now, while his prematurely gray hair has whitened somewhat over the years, he remains young, dynamic, and beloved by all of us. So this is the key. Rabbi Schuldenfrei and Cantor Kula. We are one lucky congregation to have both of them. Now, although Rabbi Schuldenfrei joined us last summer, the actual installation of the rabbi took place in March. And what an incredible event that was. Rabbi Schuldenfrei's inspiring mentor, Rabbi David Wolpe, mesmerized the crowd, and the cantor singing and the heartfelt words of Rabbi Deborah Schuldenfrei made for a memorable evening. But this was not just an entertaining evening. This was the beginning of a new era for our congregation. When Rabbi Schuldenfrei began with us last year, he had an idea which we eventually called the 3 events. Now, the first event was the annual Tu B'Shvat concert, which featured nationally known singer and songwriter Craig Taubman. We knew this event was b'sheret because the rabbi and the cantor both had separate and long-standing friendships with Craig Taubman, even though their bases of operation were on opposite sides of the continent. It was sold out, and it was a great success. The second of the 3 events was the rabbi's installation, which I've already described. And that brings us to the third event. The third event is a celebration of our 25th anniversary as a congregation. Now, people may quibble, and they may say we're actually a little older than 25 years, but just because it took us an extra year to get around to this celebration doesn't make it any less significant. On January 8th, 2012, this entire congregation will celebrate its anniversary. Now, this is not an expensive black tie affair. This is an event that will be filled with nostalgia, memories, pictures, and children. There will be something for everyone. We will be there to honor our founding members, our newest members, and the many people and families who have been an integral part of our congregation and our history for all these years. Now, if you have not done so already, please scan pictures of your family at the synagogue or involved in synagogue activities and email them to betshira25@gmail.com. Now, that's an easy address to remember, so I'll repeat it, betshira25@gmail.com. I know you're not writing this down on Shabbat, but you'll remember it because we plastered it all over. Now, if you do not know how to scan pictures, bring them to the synagogue's office and we will scan them for you. These pictures will be flashed on the screen, made into tablecloths, table arrangements, most anything else that we can cover with them. There is no charge for this, and we ask you to please be a part of this celebration. Now, in addition to the January 8th, 2012 event, we are also in the process of putting together a permanent anniversaries family album. Sydney and Nadine Pertnoy have agreed to co-chair this project. Gail Tesher will be assisting us, and Ron Rosengarten is writing our history. And yes, this part of the celebration does include a fundraising element. So please buy a page, and on that page place pictures of your family, friends, and events, so that 25 years from now, future families will look back at this album and understand how you were each an important part of the history of our synagogue. Take home the brochures you will see on your chairs and in your prayer books, which contain more information about this opportunity. Now, before I close, I'd like to just mention a few of the other reasons why I am so positive and so excited about this synagogue. In addition to the rabbi and the cantor, we have an incredible senior staff who are equally dedicated to the synagogue. And I'd like to introduce, if I could, our new executive director, Lori Solomon. I don't know where she is, but if I could ask her to stand. Lori Solomon has been a part of this community virtually her whole life. She has great experience and an even better disposition and work ethic. And Lori, why don't you stay standing, because I'd like to introduce the following people, all of whom you know. Dr. Judy Gampel, the Director of Early Childhood Center. Dr. Gampel. Marilyn Wolfson, the Director of our Religious School. Jason Siegelbaum, our Youth Director. Avram Smolensky, our Ritual Assistant. Okay, you can all sit down now. Thank you. Many of you know our other staff members who make this congregation operate so well. They include Gio Grilli, Eileen Lafont, Gigi Sopo, and Fernando Irizarry. We have a great staff. Now, in addition to the professional staff, our lay leadership also plays a critical role in the synagogue. Now, we are all volunteers, but with the dedication that they show, you would think that they're getting paid. But I assure you, they're not getting paid anything. I've been blessed to be surrounded by an amazing group of people, and I'd like to introduce the executive board and ask you also to stand as I introduce you. First, our president-elect, Lori Blum. our immediate past president, Martin Applebaum, and then the other members of our executive board, Mel Mann, Ellie Shira, and I ask you to rise when I call your name, Sharon Presby, Gail Serota, Irene Weinberger, Patty Gassenheimer, Elise Messenger, Robert Bull, James Gassenheimer, and Josh Rodstein. Now, I'd also like to ask all the members of our board of directors to stand. So all the other members of our board of directors, I would ask you to stand. Okay. So you can all see that it takes a lot of work to keep things going, a lot of volunteer work. We all owe a great debt of gratitude to all of these people. Thank you very much. You can sit down. As you know, we have many programs at Bet Shira, and I'm not going to take the time now to list them. We have a brochure outlining some of the programs that we offer, and they were in your prayer books on Rosh Hashanah, and I believe they're with you tonight as well. The Bet Shira website has been improved, and it's very user-friendly. The congregation now has a Facebook page, as do the rabbi and the cantor. And so, as we look forward to 5772, we do so with optimism, and we do so with confidence. Now, I understand that the connection of our members to Bet Shira often revolve around life cycle events, and sometimes our connection to the synagogue may waver over the years, and that's natural. But this is not just a place to worship. This is not just a place to celebrate a bar or bat mitzvah, or to mourn and remember family members who have passed on. This is where generations of congregants have spent special times. This is where our children and our children's children become educated. This is where your friends and fellow congregants come from when they comfort you at your shivas in your home. This is where we perform mitzvot together. This is our home. I ask you this evening to remember what home feels like. Feel comfortable, feel welcome in your home. Bring your friends and your family here. Support your home and celebrate it. I thank you for your time and attention. Have a safe fast tomorrow and a wonderful new year. L'shana Tova.